Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a scene for the living world of darkness, Changeling the Dreaming Venue. This scene has our good Count Castiel Hawthorne going to research his past. And he has been around for a while. He has been sane and he knows his true name, so that is where he will start his journey.
Castiel, who pretty much started the day very antsy, very eager as he awoke from his slumber. He dresses himself and he puts the word out. He goes to his seneschal and he will go through the proper channels and ask for the aid of a person skilled in the art of soothsaying. And he will go and search them out. Castiel will go as any proper noble with his robes dictating his rank and the house colors of red and I believe it's red and gold, if I'm not mistaken. And he goes. A little anxious, a little nervous, but as the time goes by, he is becoming more comfortable and more at ease with himself. Some harsh realities as of late, but there's a simpleness of him coming into his own.
All right. Your seneschal comes back to you with the name of someone who can help you do what you're looking to do.
Mhm.
It is a Boggin. Is a Boggin who owns a psychic shop in the southern part of Queens,
Mhm.
who is skilled in a number of arts.
Castiel will nod and hand him off a piece of glamour for his services as a personal thank you. And then he will make his way on his mount in the county of Starfall City. Castiel has a personal mount that is a Pegasus that he rides to go to and fro. It has a very iconic Brooklyn accent that Castiel has gotten quite enamored with and loves. And he takes, a scenic route, kind of enjoying his county. He hasn't been leisure rides like this are something he has not come to appreciate since his new appointment is count, and just being able to enjoy it in such a way has done wonders for his mood and disposition.
It's in kind of the northern part of the southern part of Queens, so it's almost like dead center. of the county, and the sign just says psychic on the door.
Castiel will rap a few times on the door.
It's a it's a pretty standard business. I mean, sign says open, so just walking in is appropriate.
Castiel will walk in and take a seat. If there is a table set up, he will fold his hands and wait.
A and a grump boggin walks through the door, very old, big round spectacles, almost very Edna from The Incredibles, that kind of magnifies his eyes so they're cartoonishly large. Walks through the door. Ah! Lord Castiel, what do I owe this great visit?
Castiel, excuse me. I came to ask a few questions. Um, I wish to delve further into my past. I'm sorry for stuttering. I'm getting used to my. I'm trying to get it under control.
Ah, well, that is definitely something I can help you with. But are you sure you're ready for what it might reveal? Sometimes we forget what happens in the past for a reason.
I think in order to get further knowledge of yourself, you have to understand the past and make sense of it. Castiel spits out.
Ah, I see. So, this. If you do this, there is no going back. You cannot forget this.
As much as we want to forget the past, it is still we aren't bound by it. I think.
Well, he will nod. Well then, um, the service you are asking for is not not cheap.
How much do you require?
Ah, well, this is going to be a fairly expensive process, and it is very time consuming. So we are looking at several $100 and about $200 or $300 and about six or seven draws.
Castiel reaches into his wallet, stacks the hundreds. It's just like okay, and Castiel will just put they look like mechanical gears that with a nice gold color, but and they give off a kind of radiance as he places them on the table.
Yes, yes, and the, that will that will cover the draws. Now about the money, looking at $200.
I have 2 points in resources. That should be more than enough, right?
Yeah, it's gonna strain you for the rest of the month.
That's fine.
Okay, excellent. Well then, come with me. And he will walk through a curtain into the back of his shop. Come.
He'll go.
He will lead you to a room with. To get to this room, he actually pulls a book off of a bookcase, very, very secret chamber-y.
Mm-hmm.
And it was well hidden. You didn't notice it. And when it opens, you kind of feel a surge of glamour. Just that, oh, I, there's something here. And the room is almost like a modern opium den, is what it looks like. Big, comfy, uh, like chairs and lounges, uh, a hookah, lots of pillows, smell of various spices and incense. Um, fill really assault your sense of smell.
He will take a seat, and almost in a nervous pattern, a person that's naturally an introspect, he will begin playing with his hands and basically trying to find his center.
Ah, yes. Get comfortable now. In order for this to begin, I am going to need your your true name, because that is what is tied, what your soul is tied to. If I look up just, if I reach out into the threads using this name, your mortal name, I will not get very far, and you will not learn anything you did not already know. Or maybe you will.
He will.
And you know that you are well aware of how dangerous that is
Mm-hmm.
to give out that name.
But what guarantee will I have that my it's personal. You would have power over me.
I give you my word and an oath that I will not use it for any malicious personal gain. It gives no harm to you. It will only be used for this one thing.
He will reach out and seal the bond and wait for the dreaming to acknowledge it.
He will extend his hand to shake yours, and when you shake it, you feel the dreaming kind of solidify the oath.
Zerphines, the dream cleaver.
Right now, he will kind of push his spectacles up. Let us begin. And with that, he will light some traditional braziers around the room. The door that you walked through to get here shuts, and you cannot see where the exit of this room is anymore. That's as if you're almost in a safe space, a space out of time, a space out of spaces, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And he will motion for you to get comfortable, and he will light various incense and herbs, and then he lights the hookah and brings it over to you. Um, yes, it is ready. Inhale. Take your time. All will be revealed in your dreams.
Cassio will begin to inhale slowly.
It's kind of tobacco-y, but there's some herbs. There's a cloying sweetness, almost like a honey, very smooth. And the uh, the old boggin begins to chant, and then you feel yourself getting a little lightheaded and kind of leaning down onto comfortable pillows. And you find yourself waking up very, it feels almost hungover is how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And you look around, and you're not in the same room. You are in in a in a stone room, sleeping on a very elegant bed. The sun is just now beginning to break through the window that you see, and you stand up and reach over to the side of the bed and put on your prosthetic leg, and you overlook the sunrise, and you are in a mountainous region, um, lots of trees and forests. You roll me remembrance.
Oh boy. Dice, come on. Once, one.
Okay. You you know you this is Europe. Um, where you can't really remember. And um, it's kind of hard to place. But you see old construction. You're very much in a keep, in an old keep. This is long before any modern era. And there is a knock at the door.
When Castiel, you can tell me if this is a thing or not a thing.
Okay.
But Castiel usually stutters when he like wakes up. Is the stutter there or no?
No.
Wow. Okay. Yes.
And a man, um, a man speaks in a language that you don't recognize, but you understand. Definitively not English. Um, and you understand something about a visitor, and then the image begins to fade. You then find yourself walking through a door out of the keep and into a large um, uh, a large like field or square at the base of a keep, and there's a man that you who looks entirely unlike anything you have ever seen. His appearance is strange and foreign. His skin yellow, his eyes are narrow, his hair is black and straight. He is almost devoid of facial hair. Um, and he performs a very rigid bow and speaks in a language you don't understand, but you don't understand and you can't recognize.
Hmm.
Um, and then there's a man next to him who roll remembrance for me.
You got it. Two.
Okay. Who's translating a language that you don't recognize, but you've part of you realizes it's Mongolian, and it's being translated into Austrian, um, which you understand. And he speaks of a substance that is fine like sand, yet manipulates the forces of nature. Fine like sand, roars like thunder, and glows like lightning. Roll remembrance again.
Hmm. One.
The scene fades. The next thing is you are walking through, or you are exiting a carriage out into the middle of nowhere, where this strange foreign man and his translator and there are some seats set up, some paper walls, and you sit down. The man speaks, and you get that this is a demonstration. And they put on the table, they present to you a platter with this fine black powder that smells strangely of blasted earth and the ocean. Roll me remembrance.
2.
They explain to you this is that this is Chinese salt or the snow of China. And they put this on a table a good dozen or so feet away from you. And they then take a crossbow bolt, dip the tip in oil, and dip it in or wrap it in an oil dipped rag. They load the bolt into the crossbow and they fire. It hits this pile of black sand, which then, with an uproarious cacophony, explodes, sending you tumbling backwards. And the scene fades. You then the next thing you remember is walking through very large, ornate doors in a palace that is not yours. In that is so surreal. It's definitely not part of this real world. You look down, and your left arm is kind of missing below the elbow, and it has a very crude and basic prosthetic that you're trying to get used to. It almost hurts. There's this phantom pain. Roll me remembrance.
You tell me what he thinks this is, or nothing at all.
You are standing in front of a large group of a very definitive she. And there is an uproar. You are speaking in front of a crowd. You are pointing. You're passionate about something. And there's screaming and dissension, but you can't make out any of it. And then it fades. the next thing you remember is waking up in a very different area. The architecture is different. The color of the stone is different. The smell of the air is different. Roll me remembrance.
3. Oh, 2. Sorry.
2. All right, so you are. This is Italy. You can remember that much. And the day kind of flickers as you go through kind of getting ready and then walking out with your prosthetic limb and your withered arm, and you go to speak with people. Roll me. Roll me intelligence academics difficulty 8.
Okay. May I spend willpower?
No.
May I invoke my never mind.
Hmm?
2.
Okay.
That diff 8, right?
Yes.
1.
1. Okay. Do. Let me see. The are you are walking to through the city, and you enter the home of a kind of frail man, rugged features, very pointed nose that you recognize is Mr. Leonardo da Vinci. You are pretty sure he was a Canaan, but the blood was too thin to figure out what kith he was.
Mm-hmm.
But definitively Fey touched, and you are going and you speak with him, and you can't make out what is said. You can't really remember, but there's an exchange of money and a promise of goods and services. And you are looking at his devices, and you are in you're not so much commissioning them to own them, you are commissioning them so they get completed.
Mm.
There is devices, tanks, what you recognize as a tank, the gyrocopter, the ornithopter, visions of great dreams, and you walk out the door and the image fades. You roll your remembrance again.
Two.
You are in another one of those otherworldly palaces. You are standing in a pulpit, or not a pulpit, kind of in a small square, um, in a where there is a room where you are surrounded by hundreds of fey and chimerical creatures. You are on trial. And you know the sentence is severe.
Can
Roll
okay.
roll remembrance again.
One. What I do? What I do?
You are being accused of aiding the enemies of the dreaming, violating the right to ignorance, you are accused of breaking ignorance and safe haven. You have let's see if your guy can give you a hand. You stand accused of trying to destroy the dreaming. As your actions have had grand consequences, the world is no longer safe for changelings and the like, and they are being forced to leave. And you accused of, and the dream starts to fade and wobble.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's some words that you can't understand. It's as if you can't. It's either things are being hidden from you, or things cannot be established, and maybe the dreaming is hiding, or the man that you have spoken to is losing control. But roll me your intelligence and gray mare.
Sure.
You wake up and you're back in that opium den, flushed, tired. The man standing in front of you is that Boggin is looks pale and drained. Um, and you get from everything that you've seen and that you're kind of processing that you were one of the major causes, or not one of the major causes, but a significant contributor in the latter parts of the age of fantasy, which led up to the Sundering. You were one of the Fae that changed the world for what some would say the worse. You aided the order of man, and you ushered in the era of reason.
Castiel was in a state of shock. Oh no.
And the man looks at you. Those dreams are yours, and that is who you are. You have a lot to come to terms with, my lord. There are now things that are in motion that you must work with to understand. This is who you are. And he will wave his hand and the door will appear. I do believe you have learned everything that I can teach you. The rest now is on you.
Castiel will get up from his seat, wipe the sweat from his brow, His mind is racing as he quickly departs. Not even with a thank you. He just leaves.
Just up and out.
Just up and out. Like,
Then, with that, we will end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. Have a great day.